welcome back to the Green Connection. Hope you brought your appetite with you because we're going to talk about food, but maybe not the food that you're used to. Uh, the world is changing a lot, and the big beef eaters are going to be a little disappointed, but the world is going to go vegan. For my guest, I have a surprise to me and to you. Louis Lacoca
Lakoki, uh-huh.
he's the general manager of the La Frita restaurants. And you might wonder, that's an Italian restaurant, and what would they have that would be vegetarian? And I looked on the menu, and they now have vegetarian meal options. And there are 6 really neat options. And of course, there are a lot of just strictly vegetarian restaurants. But what this gives you the option to do is to eat the food that maybe, if you're not a vegetarian, the good, strong, sturdy Italiano food, or you can go to the vegan way. Welcome, Louis.
Well,
Glad
thank you
to have
very much.
here.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
So, tell me what the vegan menu that you have now, which includes 4 or 6 options. How long ago did you add that to your menu?
Well, at Fratello's, we decided a couple of years ago to add some more vegetarian options, and we have numerous ones now. And of course, some of our more popular ones is pasta Ernie Karam, which was actually named after a local attorney who's a good customer who would always request this certain item. And so we developed it pretty much for him, and now it's one of our most popular items. And we also do vegetarian pizzas. We also even have a cauliflower crust pizza.
The crust is cauliflower?
The crust is made out of cauliflower. It's basically it's a
Cauliflower
rice,
flour.
cauliflower flour and rice, egg whites and cheese. Are the basic ingredients of the crust.
Well, the menu on the menu, which I have here, is pasta alla Ernie Karam. What's that?
That's this one. Pasta Ernie Karam is pasta noodles with butter and olive oil tossed with roasted vegetables.
It looks wonderful.
And if you don't want the butter, we can leave the butter out and just toss it with olive oil. And we add Parmesan cheese and, of course, garlic, heavy on the garlic on this particular plate.
And is this a sample of how much you get?
Oh yeah, that's a normal order. That's right. They're pretty
what you're
generous
getting in
sizes.
there is, as far as vitamins and things go, you're getting even better vitamins and more healthful foods in your body than you would if you had meat.
That's probably true.
What
yes.
it looks like almost is a Chinese stir fry.
It kind of does look like it. This one has eggplant, red, yellow, and green bell peppers, mushrooms, zucchini, squash, yellow squash, asparagus are in that.
Well, it has everything
those
in
have
it.
been roasted, sautéed, and then tossed and mixed with the noodles.
Well, and what you could do with something like that is, for a home party, is add some rice.
You could if you
and
wanted.
a
If
little
you want to
bit
do something
of soy
different.
sauce
Yeah.
or something, and make a nice meal out of it.
Absolutely.
Actually, what this started out to be was a vegan holiday. How you could have some little appetizers and things that you could serve and not use meat. And one of those things would be, this is the margarita pizza.
That is a margarita pizza. Now this is on our regular crust that we make from scratch at the restaurant. And of course, this is a margarita. This has cheese and fresh tomatoes and basil. You can also get a 4-cheese pizza, vegetarian pizza, and you can also get those on the cauliflower crust.
Pizza? Because I think some vegetarians they don't eat dairy products.
If they don't, we can leave the cheese off it. We just put our sauce. You can tell us what vegetables you want on it if we have them, but most of the time it's roasted peppers, tomatoes, squash, and asparagus on it. But again, and onions. Of course, if you want to change it up, you can.
Do the Italians, are they going vegan, do you know, in Italy?
Last time I was in Italy, I wouldn't say they're wholehearted vegans yet or vegetarians. No, I can't say. But they eat such a healthy Mediterranean diet that they're heavy into the fish, the chicken, and the olive oil, as well as the pasta, of course.
Yeah. Well, and another thing is, vegetarians are going to be increasing, even if they don't want to be. If you don't want to be a vegetarian, because and I've been reading that the government has found that about 87% of the pollution in the air is coming from livestock
If you're from
and
cattle,
chickens.
yeah, that's right.
And so they're going to have to cut back on that. And what's going to happen, I'm so old, I can remember when you had to buy meat with food stamps.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. But do you think it'll ever come to that?
Well, let's hope not. I think that there will always be a good source of whatever product you want, as long as we help also take care of the environment while we do both. I
Well,
think
yeah, it affects climate change.
it's a matter of doing both things at the same time and
As a
being
matter
and
of
being
fact,
responsible.
Yeah.
Yes. I
We have
agree.
a video showing the pollution that the cattle and what happens from agriculture and farms and cattle raising, and what it's doing to the climate and how it's affecting climate change. Roll the video.
As a percentage of our total greenhouse gas emissions, cars, trucks, and power plants seem to be the biggest contributors to climate change. But the elephant in the room is that our consumption of meat is actually the leading cause. When its effects and byproducts are taken together, animal agriculture accounts for about half of global emissions. On average, each American eats 275 pounds of meat a year. That's like every man, woman, and child eating a quarter pounder every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are over 1.5 billion cows on Earth, and each one emits 65 gallons of methane a day as they digest their food. And methane is a potent greenhouse gas, trapping 25 times more heat in our atmosphere than carbon dioxide. And when it just comes to sheer waste, 2,500 dairy cows are equivalent to a city of over 400,000 people. Every minute, the animals raised for food in the US produce 7 million pounds of waste. But where does it all go? Into our waterways and oceans, of course, creating gigantic dead zones. To make room for all these farm animals, we've had to remake our planet. In Brazil, this means clearing the Amazon at an astounding rate. Every second, another acre of the world's rainforests are cleared. And as our most diverse biospheres disappear, every day another 110 animals and insect species go extinct along with it. Taking their place, livestock now covers 45% of the total land on our planet and uses 1/3 of our fresh water supply. To produce just 1 pound of beef takes over 2,000 gallons of water. And because we're so inefficient growing food to feed our food, in many countries people are starving as vegetables that are grown all around them and should go to feeding them are instead fed to animals for wealthy people to eat. And it's not just land animals. We're pulling 90 million tons of fish from our oceans each year. For every 1 pound of fish caught, 5 pounds of unintended marine species are brought up along with it and discarded as bykill. So how can we, as individuals, solve this massive problem? Simply put, we can eat a lot less meat and dairy. Every acre of land gives us a choice. We can either use it to grow 250 pounds of meat or 25,000 pounds of plant-based food. Even though it's too extreme for most of us, it's worth considering that a person who follows a vegan diet, meaning they eat no meat and dairy, produces 50% less CO2 and uses 1/11th the amount of oil, 1/13th the water, and 1/18th the land compared to a meat eater. Of course, going completely vegan is really hard. I love a good burger, chicken breast, or cheese pizza every once in a while, but by becoming more educated and mindful about the costs to our environment, I've significantly cut down on the amount of animal products I consume. The side benefits are that I'm healthier and I'm not contributing nearly as much to the inhumane treatment of animals. The majority of Americans consider themselves environmentalists, but as more and more of us learn that our animal consumption is the leading cause of species extinction, ocean dead zones, water pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change causing greenhouse gas emissions, are enough of us prepared to make necessary changes to our daily lives to truly protect our environment? Thanks for watching. Like and share this video to help me spread this message.
So, tell me a little bit about If someone were having a party at their house, and they're vegetarian, what could you give them to make a nice holiday tray?
We have so many options especially if you do a pasta. We do not have to. We can use our red sauce. We can use our Alfredo sauce. We also have what we call a pink sauce that has a little bit of cream in it. You don't have to put any meats in it. You can add whatever vegetables you want, and
That's a point.
actually make beautiful dishes. Beautiful dishes.
Yeah, a
And if
vegetable
you-
tray.
Yeah, and if you don't want to, if you want to stay away from the dairy, that's easily done. We just go vegetables, red sauce, and pasta. We also, something that we also make, especially at our Broadway location a lot, is an eggplant pizza. We have long slices of eggplant, and we cut them about, maybe half an inch thick. You can get it either lightly breaded or no breading. And we grill the one that we don't bread, and we just barely deep fry the one that we do bread. Then you get 3 slices, nice big slices, and whatever pizza topping you want on them, we'll put the pizza topping, put it in our pizza oven, and out comes another vegetarian pizza if you don't put meat on it. So that's a really good option, is the eggplant pizza.
And then you can take that pizza and cut it into bite-sized
And
pizzas.
you can, and we have people do that a
And-
lot, and do it
and
for
pass
parties
it
as
around
hors d'oeuvres.
with
That's
some
right.
accompanying vegetables.
Yes.
You mentioned cauliflower. Cauliflower has become a star in the vegetarian and the vegetable
It
world.
is. There's mashed cauliflower, which you can make at home or buy in the store. There's riced cauliflower. There's flavored cauliflower now that's riced. It's amazing what's being done with cauliflower. It's exciting, actually.
When did that start?
That started a few years ago, about 2 or 3 years
But
ago.
it's really
But in the
getting-
stores, I've noticed it growing actually in the last year or so. I've really noticed it.
Yeah, they have mashed
personally,
cauliflower instead of mashed potatoes.
That's
and
right.
I think you said they have a stir fry.
They have what
Cauliflower
they
rice?
call is a cauliflower rice medley that you can make an Asian dish out of it, a fried type rice, only it's a fried type cauliflower.
And you said you made it. And
I actually made it last night. Put a little sesame oil in the pan, put the frozen rice cauliflower that had peas and carrots in it, I think some bits of mushroom, a little soy sauce, added some cut chicken, then cracked 2 eggs over it and stirred it all in no time had a meal.
well, the vegetarian wouldn't eat the egg.
They wouldn't eat the egg or the chicken, but you
So,
can
you can get
easily do
the,
it without it.
You can get the eggless eggs.
Yeah.
And I found a video on, which we're not going to show today, but on using tofu as a substitute for meat. I've never, I don't even know what it tastes like. Somehow, you grow up with an idea if something doesn't taste good, and so you don't eat it. But what I'm learning is that if you squeeze all the moisture out of it, which makes it spongy, that it then can become almost like pulled chicken.
Well, tofu kind of takes on the flavor that you want it to. It's very
In
neutral.
other words, it's a good base.
Yeah, it's a very good base. It's very neutral in flavor. That's true.
Have you done anything with tofu in the?
I haven't. No, I have not. We have not done anything in the restaurant with that yet.
But the fact that it needs to be fully dried, and I read a few things that you either have to put it in a pan and keep squashing it and squashing
Right,
it and
right.
squashing it, and until it has a solid texture.
Yes,
Otherwise, it's spongy.
that's
Okay,
true.
let's go over eggplant cottanina sandwich. What's that?
That's an eggplant sandwich. It's roasted eggplant that's been cooked and seasoned with other vegetables, and we put that in a sandwich and that comes with chips or fries.
Does it have
whatever you want.
bread or?
Oh yeah, it's our
What
homemade
about
bread.
gluten? Gluten and
The bread does have gluten. If you want it, we can. Our cauliflower pizza dough is very. We have a lot of options with that, including making sandwiches with it. So it's not just used for pizza. You can also use it as a bread.
a cauliflower flour?
The cauliflower pizza dough that we have.
Where do you get that?
We get that from our supplier. That is the one thing that we get from our supplier to make sure it meets all the government
So
restrictions.
you can't buy that over the counter.
Actually, you can.
You can?
You can buy, I know you can buy cauliflower pizza in the grocery store. I'm not sure if they just sell the crust, but I think they do now. So that's a great gluten-free option, because you can go into a grocery store and get a pizza crust, and instead of using it for a pizza crust, you use it for a sandwich.
Well, that's it. And you've been doing that for a couple of years?
We have that option if customers want something totally gluten-free in a sandwich.
Do you find that more people are opting to go for the veggie menu?
What you're seeing are more and more people requesting vegetarian items. We do get some vegan, but mostly vegetarian. You see that request increasing more and more.
See, the other thing is the crust less. That's the eggplant pizza without
Yes.
and that doesn't have a crust.
The crust is the eggplant.
Oh, I didn't understand
Yeah,
that.
we actually slice the eggplant long, and then we either grill it without any breading, or if you want it lightly breaded, we lightly bread it and deep fry it for a minute. Then we take the 3 slices of eggplant and put pizza topping on them, whatever one you want.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you'd put the eggplant on top.
Oh,
you actually
no.
use the crust. I
No,
misunderstood. I'm
the
sorry.
eggplant is the crust.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So it's all vegetarian. And if you want gluten-free, we just don't put the bread on it.
Okay, then well, fettuccine Alfredo.
That's pretty standard.
yeah. And the margarita pizza and the cauliflower pizza we already talked about. Now, Fratello is basically is it a family-owned operation?
Fratello's is family-owned and operated. Our 3 main owners, investors, Bob Carbo, Tony Magaro, and Dan Martinelli. Bob and Tony are lifelong San Antonians. Dan's been here for at least 25, 30 years. And they just wanted to do something to keep the Italian tradition alive, and so they opened the deli on Broadway first, and we opened our downtown location a couple of years ago. And we are very thankful for the success we've had so far. Again, I say it's all family. My wife is Bob Carbo's cousin, and I've known him my whole life. 3 of us all went to St. Mary's University, so we have that.
Which
We're
one
all
was that?
fraternity brothers at St.
Which
Mary's
was
too.
that?
Pardon?
Which university?
St. Mary's. St. Mary's
Oh,
University
good.
here in San Antonio, right. So we all have that connection too. And Fratello's in Italian means brothers, so we're kind of all like brothers.
And so basically, are you Italian roots?
I am, 100%. As
You,
is,
you mentioned going back to Italy.
we've been a few times, and we love to go visit and look at food and taste food and see
Where
what's
do you go?
different. I've been pretty much all over: Rome, Venice, Florence. But Rome is probably my favorite place just because it's so darn crazy.
Yeah, I lived in Europe, but I didn't go to, I worked for a magazine and I covered trade fairs, and we didn't have any trade fairs in Rome, so I didn't get there. I only went where they paid for.
Well, sure. But yeah, Rome's a beautiful, beautiful city, albeit a little disorienting and crazy, but it's a great place to visit, and it's
Well,
beautiful.
Yeah, I lived in Europe for about 5 years in Germany, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's changed, so when I went back, I don't want to go back because it's like coming back here. You have McDonald's as you walk off the train
Yeah.
or the plane, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
just, it might as well. San Antonio is about the best place to live, I think.
It is. It's a beautiful city.
So, do you plan on increasing the number of dishes for the veg?
We're always looking. It's like the Ernie Karam dish that we had here, the pasta and the vegetables. I wasn't looking at the time to do anything. It happened to be during Lent, and Ernie
That's a good point.
Ernie would come up to me and say, "Can you make this for me?" And I would make it. And as I was carrying it out to him, people would stop and ask me what dish that was. So because of the interest, we just started making it. And I said, "Ernie, would you mind if I name this dish after you?" And he said, "Okay." So that's how that dish came out as a
Well,
customer.
you're almost
customer input.
a custom food restaurant.
We are, and we love to be. You know, somebody comes in and we can make something for it. We've made King Ranch chicken. I've made chow mein chicken. We can pretty much do anything. We're very we have some
What was
just
your major in
tremendously
college?
talented cooks.
What was your major in college?
My major was marketing, business administration.
Well,
yeah,
here you are.
yeah.
Okay, getting back to holidays, I think we have a short video from Trader Joe's offers a stuffed turkey that the video, the person that's making it gives it to her husband, and he couldn't tell that it wasn't turkey. So roll our little video.
See that? Looks pretty good, right? Not too shabby. I'm going to put it right on top. Boom. All right. There you go. See that? So it's going to take a little bit longer to cook because it has vegetables in it. So I'm going to set it at 375 for about 60 minutes. I'm going to be checking it every 45 minutes thereafter because my oven it's a little aggressive, for lack of a better word. It heats things up really quickly. Anyway, let's see how this turns out. Wish me luck. And it's ready. Yeah. Looks pretty good, huh? Okay, so while this is cooling off, because you're supposed to let it set for 5 minutes, I am going to heat up our lovely gravy. All right. You can do this real simply. You can throw it in the microwave or you can toss it into a pan, whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. I want you to see this up close, what it looks like. You can see the stuffing is on the inside. You can see the crispy outside. Today you are in for a special treat because I have a special guest. And my special guest is right here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Robert.
I am Robert, the non-vegan husband.
All right. So he is going to do a taste test with me today because I would like some other perspective besides mine on some vegan food. Let me get him a fork, that would help.
And who better to do a taste test than a non-vegan of vegan food?
All right. Here we go. Make sure you show them what you're tasting so they know you're actually tasting
This is
it.
the real thing here.
You gotta make sure in the camera.
Oh, sorry. The real thing.
All right, let's see. So we haven't tried this yet because I want actual footage of how this is gonna taste.
All right, and I'm
It
going to be
looks
honest.
really hot. It's a little hot.
Is it?
Yeah. It smells good.
It does smell good.
Yeah.
It smells very good, actually.
Here, did you hear that? He said it smells very
It smells
good.
very
All right, here he goes. First taste test.
That's not bad. That is not bad. It's almost surprising that there's no turkey in that. Interesting.
I see that you've got I was looking at this information on the restaurant, and that the American Dream brought many immigrants to America. Do you think these same immigrants that are in San Antonio are the ones that come to your restaurant?
Absolutely. The Italian community in San Antonio is actually very strong, very vibrant, fairly big. They all came about the same time. Actually, most of them landed in New York City through Ellis Island. And it was, the story we're told was so crowded, so congested. Some of them heard to come down to South Texas because it was a lot like Calabria, the southern region of Italy, where they were from, especially the center part. So a few of them got on a ship and came through Galveston and came up.
Yeah.
They rode back to New York and said, to their friends said, come on, this is better. It's open spaces. It's a lot like where we grew up. And so that's how most of the Italians, the original Italians that got to San Antonio, got here.
Well, so when did the first ones come?
They were in the late 1890s or early 1900s.
And so do you have a community of them in San Antonio?
Absolutely. And you know, we, back then, all the communities had their own church. At first, everybody went, all the Catholics, because, you know, Italians were predominantly Catholic, went to San Fernando. And then they built their own church, which is still standing and has Columbus Hall next door. That's San
Yeah.
Francesco de Paulo. As did the Lebanese. You know, they built their own church. They also went to San Fernando, and then they built St. George Marianite. So,
So there's a good history there that I didn't
Yes.
even look up. We need to do that again.
absolutely.
Take something. It's interesting to find what immigrants have done for this country.
That's right. And it was, the neighborhoods were close. The Lebanese, the Hispanics, and the Italians all lived close to downtown, and this very close to where we're at right now.
Well, Louis, I want to thank you so much for being with us, Louis
Lakoki.
Lakoki,
That's okay.
who is general manager of the La Frita restaurants. And I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have a happy holiday. I hope you got some ideas for a vegan holiday. And see you next month. Stay green.